Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester United 2 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Good evening and welcome to the reaction show. Good evening. Like I said at the beginning, welcome to Paxton Road TV. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester United 2. Was it a case of Spurs missing out on 3 points? Was it even Manchester United should have taken the 3 points at half time to a struggling Spurs who just come back from a 6-1 thrashing by Newcastle United? Joining me this evening, as always, is the one and only Sam, Spurs for Life. Good evening, Sam. How was that today?
I think it's very typical of what we've seen pretty much all season. You know, no Spurs, no player turned up in the first half. Gluttony of mistakes and errors leading to 2 Manchester United goals. That right-hand side of ours, their left-hand side was abysmal from our perspective. But then shooting into, you know, attacking the South Stand, you think that, you know, we've got an opportunity, but sorry, North Stand, not South, but yeah, it is what it is. I called it yesterday 2-2, a lot of mistakes, and we've got a point. Doesn't do much for both teams, but hey ho, better for them than us, I guess.
Yes, and before we move any further, I'd like to welcome everyone who's joined us in the comment section. Please carry on with your comments. What did you think of the performances, Tottenham's performances? And we've also got Man United fan in there as well. Please give us your comments on how your team performed tonight. And also, if you want to come on live and get involved, I have put the link on, and the link is here in the stream. Just click the link and we will get you on and have your comments as well. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Spurs fans, you've got a lot to say. And if you're a Man United fans and you want to air your anger or vent your frustrations, then do come on. We don't mind anyone, and everyone that wants to come on, we can talk. We're not like other certain channels. We love to talk. Right. So, big game in charge it was for Ryan Mason today. We'll talk about Ryan towards the end, actually, if you want, on his performance and how you think he felt. But let's just get straight into this then. So it was, let me just take this banner off. So, where's it gone? Where's the banner gone? That's my one. Okay, where's that? How do you take that? Okay, Sam, I'll let you do that one.
Yeah,
right.
I'll sort it out.
So, as I said, Manchester United 2-2. Let's start with the team, Sam. As expected, Hugo Lloris was injured, apparently, because he seemed fine to me in the half-time when they showed pictures from the tunnel. He went with 3 at the back, which we didn't want one certain player, Eric Dyer, but Royal, sorry, not even Royal, Romero, Dyer and Langley, with Pedro Porro, Højbjerg, Skip, Perisic, Son, Kane and Richarlison. Was you surprised by the team that he chose and the formation? Or we discussed this yesterday, and I mean, well, I did, and I said what I wanted, and I never got that, but hey-ho. Was you surprised by the lineup?
Not in terms of the formation, in terms of the 3-4-3. I said, I think we both talked about it yesterday. You know, it's going to be very difficult for him to change from what he had done, considering we conceded 5 goals playing 4 at the back. I think he always had to go back to 3. It was just the personnel. I possibly thought that Ben Davies could have started. I possibly thought that Clement Longley could have played where Dyer played. And if you see what happened with Dyer with that second goal, then you can understand. The first goal, again, that right-hand side for us has been a bit of a problem. And that's because, you know, Porro is very attacking, but he also doesn't quite know his distances. So, yeah, no real surprises in that. I guess the surprise was the positions of Son and Richarlison. We said that Son probably could have got dropped, but I expected him to play. I did expect Richarlison to play because of the fact that he's got that energy and he wants to really do well. So not too many surprises, I don't think, Sid.
Yeah, do you know? I mean, yeah, with what we've got, the personnel we've got at the moment, we did discuss this yesterday, didn't we? That is he going to go with the tried and tested, or is he going to bring in Danjuma, Richarlison, so forth? He bought on Richarlison. I think he done all right, but for me, you can't play him on the left, man. He's not a winger. He was just not involved in the game that much. Son, I don't know what he's got on the whole of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
I don't know.
Guy is just undroppable. I honestly think, and I think I was on 2 different groups, and everybody was like, this guy is shocking, absolute shocking. All right, he scored a goal. Even that, when you look into that, he sort of scuffed it. That chance that he had where he should have actually buried it, no matter what, and then he gets his goal. I think the midfield 2 now are getting found out week in, week out. I think they're just not up to scratch now, in my opinion. It's Skip and Højbjerg. Maybe the formation is not right for them. I don't know. And then I think on the groups, I said that right-hand side, man, it was shocking, absolute shocking today. I don't know what was going on with Romero and Pedro Porro. The marking for that first goal of Sancho, 3 of them there, and not one of them puts a tackle in. And as for Eric Dyer, honestly, man, I don't want to say nothing. A, it was harder for him to miss that header, the 3-1 in front of goal. And then B, for that goal for Rashford, what is he doing? What is he doing? Please, can anyone in the comment section, if you saw the game, can you please tell me what Eric Dyer is all about? Is he a professional footballer? Should he be playing football, let alone in the Prem? This guy is shocking, and he's getting worse week in, week out. And the worst thing is they want to offer him a new contract. A new contract. Daniel Levy, you were sat there with your eyes bulging out again today in that stand. Come on, man. Sort this out. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. What did you think of Kane's second half performance?
I think something at halftime obviously was said. I think it must have been a collective thing between the players and obviously Ryan Mason as the manager and whoever's in that coaching environment, because they did come out with a little bit more energy. That's all we said we wanted to see, Sid, at the end of the day. If they'd have started the first half, but again, I'll go back to what we have seen all season. We don't seem to start first halves well. The fact that we went in 2-0 down, I was like, how are these guys going to come back? Based on what we've seen, based on how we've approached games before, based on 6-1 on Sunday, I didn't expect us to come back into that game in the way we did. And we had clear-cut chances. That Dyer one with a header. There was other ones in there as well. I think there was a Perisic one with a header that he also missed. Was that right? There was 2 clear-cut headers. I'm sure I saw. Dyer definitely. I couldn't believe that one. But there was others. Go on, what was you going to say?
I was going to say, when Dyer got that header, right? I swear down, if I was on BT Sports and I was doing the videoing or anything or editing or anything at that point, when he came in, you know what I would have done? I would have said, he came in like a wrecking ball. Because he came in like a wrecking ball and he just absolutely, I don't know what was in that guy's mind. Yeah. But
in my opinion, it was harder to miss that. As a professional footballer, I'm not talking about the old, playing in the park, playing in the school ground. As a professional footballer, that was 6 yards out, center of goal. It wasn't like he was coming from an angle. He was center of goal. Maybe just slightly off center. Just slightly off center. And again, no pressure. That's the biggest thing. No pressure in terms of personnel. The pressure comes from being in that position. Dyer being in that position, knowing, oh my God, if I score, I'm a hero. If I miss, I'm a valley villain. And that's what it was. I'm saying these players can't cope with pressure because in any training session, that's a goal. In any practice match, that's a goal at professional level because you're center of goal. You don't miss them.
No.
Unless the keeper is absolutely superb. And De Gea is not that.
No.
So that kind of sums up where we are. But what I did say yesterday is the players had to show some sort of effort and commitment. Second half, they did that. I'm concerned that, you know, we cannot keep clean sheets. We cannot keep clean sheets. Those defenders are just not good enough.
51 or 52 goals conceded, and we're supposed to be fighting for the top 4. And I said this yesterday or the day before on the preview show. Our record is like Forest, Leeds, Leicester. You know, they've conceded 50 odd goals. Even Everton have conceded less than us, and they're in a worse, you know, position than we are. Even and they conceded 5 again or 4 to Newcastle today. But we're on par with them kind of teams. It's, you know what, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Let's have a look. So in terms of the game, right? First off, Sam. Yes, we made the 2 mistakes. They scored from that. We weren't that good in the first half. And I'm sure Matthews, or Matt, as he wants to be called, that first half performance from Man United, I'm sure he's probably a bit peed off that they didn't control that game in the second half and win the game convincingly, because they played all right. All right, 2 counter-attacks. I want to talk to you about that second goal, right, in more detail, because we've had a discussion on WhatsApp. And Sean's not been to the game. Sean never watched it at all. But Sean, we're going to describe the second goal to you in a minute, right? But as a Man United fan and a Spurs fan, as a Spurs fan, you would have probably been thinking business as normal, as usual, because we were shit. Man United fans, they're probably thinking, how have we drawn this game? First half performance, and why have we not turned out like that? To me, what's happened this time is Man United have turned up first half, like all the teams do at our ground. We've actually turned up second half, and Man United haven't, and we've taken advantage of that. So it was a game of 2 halves, as they would say. But at home, Sam, 40% possession. Man United had 60%. We had 18 shots on target, 18 shots in total, 16 to Man United. We had 7 on target. They had 8 on target. Corners and fouls. I'm thinking out of them 7 shots, though, do you think the majority of them were in the second half?
Yeah, the majority of them. If you look at the shots on target, and that suggests that, you know, you've got opportunities, but you have to think of the shots that clear-cut opportunities that we missed. There were some clear-cut opportunities. The Son one, the 2 headers that I've already mentioned, that's 3. They should have been on target. So what I'm saying is we're creating opportunities. As we know, we're the 4th highest scorers in the Premiership. But there was a stat that they said on the BT Sports commentary, only 5 teams in the bottom half have conceded more goals than Spurs. Only 5. Yeah. And remember, the bottom half consists of 10 teams.
That's it.
That's shocking.
Yeah, it is.
That's absolutely mind-blowingly shocking, because had you kept 2, 3, 4 more clean sheets in terms of matches, you know, or even not conceded goals late on, as we've seen, we can do this thing. We can say the points. But what we've got to say about this team at the moment is they clearly, as it's always been the case, they clearly lack the mentality side of things, because what they were doing on that right-hand side with Porro, I could tell you about the Romero-Porro situation. What I didn't understand is why they put Son on that side, because it made more sense to have Richarlison because he works harder. What the problem with Porro and Romero, as we know, is more of a avant-garde. He wants to attack. He wants to carry the ball forward. He can defend, but yet he wants to be more attacking in what he does. He can't do that with Porro, so he's having to defend. And when he has to just defend, I think he gets bored. I think he gets bored of it. Yeah, I do. He switches off. You can see, because that goal was all about switching off, because he could have told Porro, stay a little bit wider. I'm here. There was more than enough. We've got 3 centre-backs. You don't need to pull the right wing back across so far, because they haven't got those numbers. And that's just a classic case of just being scared of what's going to happen, instead of just calm, normal situation, stay in your position. That goal would never have happened. Even when he came inside, they should have never had a shot on goal, because we don't block shots.
Yeah.
But as I said, it is what it is. It's no different than what we've seen all season from this team.
But if I totally agree with you, playing Son on the right-hand side was a mistake, because Son can't play at the moment in the middle or on the left. He doesn't want to defend anyway when it comes to that. But then you got Romero and Porro, like you said. At the moment, there seems to be like a disconnect between them two because
there is.
There's just they don't know what they're doing. They just don't know what they're doing, and it's like they're not helping each other out. When Porro goes that side, it looks like Romero's just like whatever. I'll talk to you about Romero in a second as well because me and my son noticed something today, and I want your thoughts on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Dyer. I just don't think they're interested in Dyer. I think they just don't believe in Dyer anymore, right? And it is what it is with that Eric Dyer, and it's causing issues with our right side and our left side. Perisic did quite well today, up and down on the left. However, and we've got to talk about this. Their second goal, right? Even before that, how many times, and you've touched on this, did we get to the left-hand side attacking, cross the ball in, and there's nobody in that middle, right? Because Kane's obviously come out a little bit. But Pedro Porro, and I think Glenn Hoddle picked it up as well. Porro's not making any runs or busting a gut to get in at that back post, and he's got a tap in. Time in, time out, we was getting him down the left, crossing the ball in. Nobody's in the middle, and Porro's not even anywhere near that action, which, to me, it beggars belief, right? Now, going back to that goal of Marcus Rashford, we've got the ball into the area. They've cleared it out. It's now going out for a throw-in near the corner flag. Perisic, all of a sudden, decides, Sean, if you're listening, to bust a gut to get to that ball. He slides onto the ball like he's making a sliding tackle, keeps the ball in play on the touchline. Then he tries to cross it, and he hits the bloody one person you're not supposed to hit, the defender, comes up back out to Højbjerg. Højbjerg is being like shoulder charged by a 5-year-old kid, and he's gone down. And then they've just gone up. The ball's been played across to Dyer on the on the right hand side. It's like someone's pressed the pause button on Eric Dyer and then rewound it backwards because he's just. Talk to me about that, Sam. What was you seeing? Was you just seeing the same as me?
I'll even add a little bit more to that. The ball was actually going for a corner, Sid. The ball was going for a corner. It wasn't going for a throw-in. This made it even worse. The compounding of these errors. What I said in the first half that was happening, what we wasn't doing, was not getting players in the box. So every time we were getting into good attacking position, there was only maybe Son, possibly Kane. Sometimes Kane wasn't in the box because he'd set play out. We only had 1 and 2. At the most, we had 3 players in the box, including the person that was on the ball to create the chance. In this situation where the goal happened in that second goal, we had a good attack. It broke down. It was cleared. It was going out for a corner. I looked in the box. There was nobody in the box. So even if he'd have got the ball back to cross it back in, which he did, it was not really percentage-wise likely to score from that. So let it go for a corner, bring all your players up, your centre-backs, and try and score from a set piece, which we've been pretty decent from set pieces, albeit we've not been so great the last few weeks. That's one mistake. The second mistake is, as you just said, he didn't get the ball into the box past the first defender anyway. And then mistake after mistake. We can't then recover the ball back. One long ball after that, and it's in behind. So I'm then considering, right, we're playing 3 at the back. We should be okay. It's Marcus Rashford, should be against 3. But where was Romero? Where was Porro? And I keep saying to you, because they're more attack-minded, they're higher up the pitch. So it's almost like a 1v1 with Dyer and Rashford. No competition. He shimmied, left foot, bang. A terrible goal to concede, but one that was so obvious it was going to happen.
Yeah, totally agree. That's done. You know what? At that point, honestly, I just thought, why do we bother? Why do the fans bother? And then they wonder why fans are booing them and this, that, the other. And they got booed off at halftime, which was right, because again, they're not going to watch that dross on Sunday and then come back to watch again that kind of a dross performance by certain players again. Romero, I was watching him and my son, and the same thing. What is that guy playing? Has he got a free roll? Do you think it's like he's just doing what he wants? I'll do what I want. I'll do what I want. My name's Romero. I'll do what I want. At one point, I couldn't see him on the screen. Man United were attacking. I couldn't see him on the screen. I said to him, "Where's Romero?" And my son's going, "I think Daddy's injured. He's in Man United's off near the goal." And I'm like, "Is it?" And I swear down, it was about a minute play before he started venturing onto the screen. And he's not busting a gut. And then did you see Harry Kane's reaction? And then he come back and he started pressing their midfielders. And Harry Kane's looked at him and was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get back to your position." What is this guy doing? Has he given up on Tottenham? Is he just thinking, now, you know what? I'm going to take this by the scruff of the neck. And I'm going to do what I want to do. And just play whatever I want.
Listen, I think this is the reality of football. He's won a World Cup. He's got a bit of a name about him. It doesn't matter what he does now. He's always going to get an opportunity to go. He's young enough. He can go anywhere he wants. I just think he said, F this. I've won the World Cup. I've won the World Cup. What am I doing here? I'm not going to get you Champions League. I'm not in any cup competitions. We're not even winning any games. Let me just F about. I'm playing FIFA on my own on the pitch. That's what he's doing. He's playing FIFA. So you're controlling your centre-back and you're trying to run your centre-back through the middle. That's exactly what he's doing.
It's a glitch.
He was nowhere to be seen for that Rashford goal, nor was Porro. I don't expect Porro to be in the picture, but I expect Romero to be in the picture. And he's nowhere. And then after that, it's kind of like, okay, if we are going to play kamikaze football, let's at least get a goal from it. And we did, because we kept on attacking. It was kamikaze, because if Man United had anything about them in terms of midfield dominance, because they weren't dominant in midfield, they would just be able to pass around because we weren't very good. If they had some sort of midfield dominance, they would have scored some goals. So we're lucky, mate. We're lucky.
But saying that, though, you know, we give it to them. We're very negative towards players and team performance. Second half, I think it improved. I think we played better. I don't know what happened to Man United that second half, because they became the Tottenham of the first half. Every time we attacked them, we caused them problems. And Lindelof and Shaw, okay, Shaw's been playing decent at centre-back, but he's not a centre-back. Lindelof is suspect at times. Bissaka's not, you know. Fred came on and he was shocking. He just kept giving the ball away. So, in terms of us lot, I think you've got to give credit to Kane, because he obviously saw some blood and he wanted to maybe get that move to Man United. I don't know, prove a point. But he started playing and he started dictating, and it caused problems. Kulu then came on, Danjuma came on. We started pressing them, because that second goal came from that press, wasn't it? How we pressed them. They sort of made a mistake, and then we capitalized on it. And, you know, Harry Kane does what Harry Kane does. But second half, there was glimpses of, you know, Spurs, not back, but this is entertaining. You know, this.
No, not back, said. Not
back.
Don't go too far. Don't go too far. Now.
Yeah, we're not back. But what I'm saying is there was glimpses that we could nick it here, because I was thinking to myself, you know what, we could nick this. If we get it together here, we could pull a fast one here and beat them 3-2.
We should have. If you look at the chances that we created in the second half, we should have, because they're clear-cut chances. Man United had some chances. The Bruno Fernandes one that hit the crossbar, was that that obviously was a gilt-edge opportunity. But I don't remember too many more where we were really like making massive saves, you know, forced to make, you know, it was still huff and puff, but we had the clear-cut chance in the second half. The first half should have been outside. If Man United were anything about them, they would have had 4 goals in that first half. And then, as I said on the WhatsApp, I said it's going to get ugly. Steve Cooper ugly if we continue like this. Luckily for us, we only went in 2-0 down, because we were able to, as I said, 2-0 is a horrible scoreline, because the next goal is always going to cause a problem. So either 3-0 or 2-1. For us, we got the next goal, and then we've got the crowd behind us. That's one good thing I will say about the crowd. They stuck with the players in the second half. They deserve to be booed off in the first half because they didn't show enough heart. But second half, we did show enough heart. And I think the results are right. I think 2-2's right, but we were unlucky not to get that third goal.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Right, so let's have a look at a few of these comments in the comment section. Good evening to everyone. Big up everyone who's joined us. Dinosaur, our usual. So Conte refused to come back from Italy. David Clark is saying here, hi from Leicester. I hear when United scored their second goal, the stadium, instead of erupting into anger at Levy, it just went deadly silent. Yes, it did. There was a few booings or singing of Levy out, and I think my missus sent me a picture because she was at the ground of a Levy Enoch out banner. Good evening, Matt. Evening all. Big up everyone on the show and in the chat. Man United fan is all Matt. Good character shown by Tottenham today against my team. I think character in the second half, not so much in the first half, Matt, and I think you might agree with that one. David Clark, Conte was very ill from side effects from his operation, so he could have come back even if he wanted to. So I think they're referring to that. Our very own Sean Hill can't make it tonight. He didn't even watch the game. He's that done with Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. He enjoyed 2 movies tonight at the local Cineworld, Air and Missing. Very apt Tottenham titles. Absolutely. Because Eric Dyer was in Thin Air and he did go missing. So there we go. Well done, Sean, for watching Eric Dyer in the cinema. To come back from 2 down shows resilience. It does. It does. Kevin Murray, good evening from Ireland. Jews Nuts of another regular. Wasn't expecting that. No, we wasn't. David Clark, Skip gave the ball away more times than I would in a season. Shocking. Yeah, we've discussed this many times, haven't we, Sean? Sam, middle 2. It's just not happening, is it?
Because we play the 3 at the back, it looks like we have to sacrifice a midfielder because we're playing 3 at the front. It's the wrong way of doing it, considering we are 52 goals or whatever it is conceded this season. That tells me you need some protection there, even with 3 at the back. It don't make sense having 2 in midfield. I don't know what's this team doing.
I don't think anyone does. Kevin Murray, big improvement. Second half there was, but why should we have to always wait till the second half when we're 2-0 down or whatever down to try and improvement?
Hold on. Can I just add big improvement? But look at the back 4 of Manchester United.
Yeah.
Lindelof, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, and Dalot.
Yeah. Not world class, are they? Not world class beaters, are they?
Lindelof, Shaw at centre back. I've seen Lindelof get skipped around because he's shocking even when he's playing alongside Varane. And he's playing alongside Luke Shaw that don't play centre back. Come on, man.
And he should have been sent off, in my opinion. In all fairness, second yellow card. But Matthew at David Clark, Skip is still better than Fred. And then he's saying Tottenham's second half performance was good. Yes, it was. Kevin Murray, Richarlison should play as a number 9, waste of time on the wing. I just don't understand.
3-5-2.
Exactly.
3-5-2. You got to drop Son.
Exactly.
That's the problem. Nobody wants to drop Son. No manager wants to drop Son. So because of that, you ain't going to be able... Oh, looks like we got someone in the house, Sid.
We have. Good. Oh, right. How's it going? Good afternoon. Good evening, Josh. How are you?
All good. I'm buzzing after that result. I can't lie. I don't know if fans are. I don't know. I haven't actually been on social media.
Josh, buzzing, I think it's too far. Going too far buzzing. I'm all right with it. I'm not buzzing, but I'm all right with it. Go on then. Sorry.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I haven't been on social media since coming off from the game. Literally just gone straight on. So I don't even know what people are on about after that game. But personally, for me, I'm gassed after that result. I cared about the 2-2. Obviously, I cared about the 3-2. But more specifically, I think the season's over. Whatever, done for. But I wanted to see a reaction after that 6-1. I wanted to see some tactic display that we haven't seen with Antonio Conte. Something new. I want to see something new from Tottenham. And I think today we saw the more aggressive side of the Tottenham Hotspur. You saw Cuti Romero coming in more to the defence. You saw the defenders and midfielders slightly pushing up. Yes, of course, we do go back again with the ball. We continue doing those things. And I believe that Ryan Mason will change it eventually. But I think for now, he's made Tottenham over 1 or 2 training sessions tactically better, I feel like, and we approached the game in a much better manner. Even though the midfielders such as Fred and Casemiro, I don't know if Casemiro had a great game. I personally don't think he had a great game, but I think they gifted them Tottenham Hotspur a couple of free balls where Tottenham should have, counter-attacked on them. But overall, I think it's a brilliant game tactically. Result, obviously not, but I'm happy with it.
Was you at the game, Josh?
No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately
No.
not. I was actually, funny enough, me and my mate were supposed to be at the game, but
Yeah.
we were like, yeah, Levy and the whole business. We ain't doing this. We ain't giving them our money.
Had I known you before, Josh, you could have had my ticket for free, mate. I tell you that much.
No, we don't want to pay Levy any of these money anymore. We're done for. Honestly, we're finished with it.
Do you know what? I don't know if you watched.
Sorry, by the way, I'm looking here because my screen is here, but I am actually.
Good, man. No problem. Just do your thing.
We obviously the first 25 minutes we've been talking about the result and performances and stuff like that. What did you think of Dyer's performance? Right, because we've discussed Dyer's performance and that miss he done, and also his shambolic defending for that Rashford goal, and also we've been discussing Porro and Romero's on the right hand side, how it's just not connecting at the moment, and how they always attacked us down that right and sort of destroyed us always. Every attack they had was down the right. Did you see it any differently?
No, I agree. I think the right hand side is a big issue for us. I think it's been over the years a big issue since Trippier's left. Even though we do have a great, sorry, not a great, mind me, a good centre back. We have a good centre back, Romero. I still feel like we've got a lot of improvements to do. Now, one thing specifically, I like to look at these individual performances here from Romero. So when Romero gets the ball, when Romero has a player in front of him who has the ball, he likes to go press. But Romero is terrible at defending, but then he leaves him vulnerable at the back by himself, marking his space and Romero's space, which doesn't make any sense to me. If Romero wants to go forward, then either Skip has to go back to defend instead of Romero, or Dyer has to have 2 roles now. It's not making sense, because if Emerson, for example, I never thought I'd be saying this, but if Emerson was in the team, Emerson defensively is much better than Porro. Therefore, he can somehow make out a way of defending and taking Romero's side and his own self. But because Porro is a full-on attacking player, he's not a defender, then there is no connection, and Romero and Porro can't together figure out what the best movement is. Either Porro goes forward and attacks a player, puts pressure, or Romero. Them two can't go together to press a player, otherwise you leave Rashford by himself going against defense and easy to score. Dyer, for example, in the counter attack, sorry I'm going on about this, but in the counter attack, where Perisic could have scored, whatever. Then comes a counter attack. Rashford with the ball, pointing about what you said about how Dyer's performance was. I think it was just absolute shambolic, diabolical. Honestly, it was so bad. I mean, the fact is, we all know, and my mate pointed this out in the game. We all know that that Lenglet, I think it was Lenglet, was coming in to back him. He was coming in to back him. Therefore, the only place Rashford could have gone was on the outside. There was no way he could have cut in. Otherwise, they would have 2 players on him, and it was much harder to get on a nice finesse shot, as you call it in FIFA. You can't do that. You have to go on the outside foot. And by Rashford slowing Dyer back and boosting forward, it just game over, done. Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
So Sid, let me just add a couple of points, because Josh has got some good tactical points here. The reason why that side is terrible, as you said, with Romero. Romero, as a defender, doesn't like to go backwards. He likes to go forwards. He likes to press.
Yes.
So if you've already got your right wing back ahead of the play, and then Romero's next thought is to press on the player that he's got to go, that's going to leave massive spaces. That's the problem.
100%.
One-on-one, Emerson Road is much better than Porro. So that's the reason why Romero gets away with it with Emerson, because one-on-one, Emerson is better. Emerson's positionally, from a defensive point of view, is better. Attacking-wise, he's not the greatest, but from a defensive point of view, he's better. So Romero, in a sense, gets covered by him. As you just said, once that happens, Romero is not the greatest of, I wouldn't say he's the greatest of defenders. He's very aggressive, but he's not great. So he will go charging in. If you get past that, as we've seen, we're in trouble. So
Yeah.
That's the sense. He's got to get that positional sense right with Porro, but I'm just not sure how it's going to work if both of them are so very forward thinking.
I agree. I also want to touch on one point that you said there, is that when Romero does come forward, especially when you got Poor in a team, when Romero does come forward, and we've seen this a couple of times in the season where Romero doesn't make the tackle. He somehow misses the tackle. It leaves that whole right space just completely free and open. And you leave it to the open. You leave it open, and you got two of the worst centre backs in the whole Premier League to defend. I mean, bless him. You got Dyer, who was flipping Toby and Jan's subs on the bench that barely got any game time. He's starting in our good period now. What the hell is this? How are we moving forward? We're moving backwards now, guys. Come on.
Yeah, totally agree. Juice Nuts is saying here, draw was a fair result. Kevin Murray, Juice left on the bench for too long. I think, yeah, it could have done. Good evening to Josh. Papering over cracks.
That's Josh here. Also, is that you, Josh?
No, not me.
No, I was going to say.
No, not that, Josh. United changes were poor and changed the game in our favour.
100% agree.
Yeah, and David Clark is also saying, this is something you said, Josh, but he's saying here, Mason hasn't made us tactically better. Man United had 73% possession in the first half and were 2-0 up. So how is that tactically better? What lulled them into a false sense of security, then surprised them? I think he didn't expect Man United. Well, he sort of expected them to ramrollers like they did in the first half, but I don't think he expected them to have that much of possession. However, I think second half, when they went 2-0 down, I think he's gone into that dressing room and I think he's had words, and I'm sure Harry Kane as captain as well has had words. And then Man United's second half, I don't know whether they just took their foot off the pedal or whether we then, like you said, Josh, we then started being aggressive, started, pressing on them, trying to win that ball back constantly, not giving Man United time on the ball. And then when Fred came on, I think that was the end of Man United, wasn't it? Because some of their substitutions, Ericsson being taken off and stuff like that. What I want to ask you both, before we go, is going back to this team, right? Yeah. Some of the substitutions Mason made today, I was a little bit baffled, right? When he took Porro off for Danjuma, then he took Perisic off for Ben Davies. I can understand that, right? And then Tanganga for Son. I was quite a bit miffed with that. I couldn't understand it. Any of you two have any ideas why he done that substitution?
I personally thought as soon as he came, as soon as I think Danjuma was the first one. I think Davis was the first one on. Then it was Danjuma, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So then what I had in my head that I thought we were going to go to a back four with Davis, Lenglet, Dyer, and then have Romero on the right hand side, because we've seen it a couple times this season where Romero has played on the right hand side, not for the whole game obviously, but for around 20 minutes of the last period of the game. We've seen that a couple of times that Romero has played on the right hand side. So I thought they would have went to the back four, playing and then having Danjuma, Kulusevski, and Kane up front. But then when he brought on Tanganga, then went back to the five, obviously, and having two of the midfields. But that was, by the way, just so you guys, I just want to say, Højbjerg with the yellow card, it is dangerous for us now, because I'm pretty sure now he misses the Liverpool game, which is absolutely terrible.
Interesting. So that means Sar's going to come in for that one, then, isn't he? And Skip and Sar in the middle.
I'm not too displeased with that. Not because because I think we need to change that midfield. Personally, I think we need to do something different. So that might force his hand. But what I was going to say about this team here, it did change because Kulusevski went to the left hand. It was a bit of a hybrid system. The reason why he brought the Tanganga on for Son, we almost went to a 3-5-2. If you looked at it, Kulusevski was almost playing as a right-sided wing back, if such. You had Romero still there, you had Yaphet in there, so it was kind of very higgledy-piggledy. But what was clear to see was that Danjuma was playing more central and he was playing almost up front with Kane. So whatever they were doing at the back, it was just a case of trying to get numbers in there. What I want to see him do is have a little bit more structure. We should try and play a 3-5-2. I don't understand why we can't play a 3-5-2, because we've got the ability to play Kane in a 10. Do you know what I mean? And behind a Danjuma and a Richarlison, because Kane was doing that all night tonight anyway. So I don't understand why I just don't do it. Let him play that position.
Do you know? I think maybe now going forward, I think maybe Ryan, or Mason may be probably thinking that, and he's probably thinking, you know what, I might try that, Sam. I think he will try that, because Richarlison needs to score at some point. He still hasn't scored a Prem goal this season, right? He scored 2 offsides. He needs to get on that score sheet sooner rather than later. So I think coming now, we've got 6 games left or 7 games left. I personally think Mason will try that at some point. Drop Harry Kane back a little bit. Have them, like you said, Danjuma and Richarlison, because they can press and they can go at teams. And with Kane passing, delivering balls on a plate for him, I think it's a very good option for Mason. And I think he'll take that one.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does the next match against Liverpool. You know, dropping Kane back a little bit, because you know I've said this a couple of times on my stream. You know, when you don't have a creative midfielder in a team, you got to be the creative midfielder. Harry Kane is the creative midfielder. You look at the best teams in the whole world. Yeah, everyone's got a creative midfielder. Kevin De Bruyne, Odegaard, Kroos, De Jong. I mean, De Jong's not a creative midfielder, but he's a box to box. He can create something. With Tottenham Hotspur, there's no creative midfielder. Absolutely no one. So Kane has to do it. But when you've got players like Richarlison, who all he does is fall on the floor for 60 mil, it's terrible. I mean, this is an absolute joke. You're falling on the floor. I was counting. It was probably around 10 or 11 times he fell on the floor before he got a foul. I mean, that's mad. That's right. He's probably the player who spends the most time on the floor than with the ball in the Premier League. It's that bad. It's really we are so bad.
The groundsman must pay him to look after the pitch, so hence why he's not doing that.
Right. You know what? Just touching on, because I know we're going to go soon. If you look at Bruno Fernandes is almost not a Kane-like, but what I'm saying is Bruno Fernandes is a midfielder who wants to be a forward, and it's almost like Kane's a forward who wants to be a midfielder. So that position they've got, that's why Bruno Fernandes gets so many goals, because he wants to go forward. If you watch him, you don't see him in the penalty box, in his own penalty box very much, because that's not what he does. You really don't see him tracking back that much, because that's not what he wants to do. He wants to get on the ball and go forward. So if Kane was in that number 10 position, we've got the best of both of us, because we know that Kane can find a pass, he can play with his back to goal, he can do all of those things, which I don't think Bruno Fernandes can do as well with his back to goal. And he can also spray them passes, but he's also our top scorer. So if he does make the runs like Lampard used to do for Chelsea in the old days and makes them runs late, he can get in the box and he could score the same amount of goals, but have more an effect of the goal, because we've got more players who are willing to run behind, and they will create more opportunities, and there will be more space in between the back four and the midfield for Kane to then get in the hole and score. But what do I know?
Do you think those two run-on players can be Son and Danjuma, because Richarlison is just going to be on the floor the whole time? Do you think it can be? Do you think it could be Son and Danjuma, because Son's pace is, even though his first touch is rubbish this season, he's still got the pace on him. With Danjuma, he's got the pace on him as well. And my problem with this whole pace thing is that I don't think Danjuma can last 90 minutes with pace. I don't think he can. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think Son and Danjuma can be the run-ons for Harry Kane's balls?
No.
Over to Sid.
I honestly, we've been saying this all season. Son, he can be a runner, but his finishing and his confidence is shot to pieces. I mean, I don't know. It's just, if we had that Son from last season where, like you said, on the ball, he was running at defenders for fun, and then finding someone to score or scoring himself. Yes. But this season, Son, I don't think I've seen enough of him. I don't think I've seen any of him running at players, attacking players and then giving them the shitness that to say, oh, no, he's going to beat us constantly. He's not doing that. So I don't think he'll have both of them. If he's going to do it, I think he'll probably have Danjuma and Richarlison, not Son. But
But so Sid, are we a one-man team then? No, I'm not. I don't know. Are we a man team?
What I'm saying is,
been a one-man team for a long time. To be honest with you, a long time.
It makes sense, but for me, Son's never going to get dropped, because I think he's got some dossier on the whole of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Because no matter what that guy does, he starts every single game. Yeah. Last couple of games, they've actually decided that we need to take him off. Yes, but you know what, Josh, you might be right. Next, Mason might have a word with him, and he might do them two up top. You never know.
Just to add on to that front of you, because of the fact that Harry Kane drops in, Kulusevski hasn't got the pace. Son does. So if we only and what the way we try and play is the two wide players are supposed to be two number 10. So if Kane drops in, the two wide players are supposed to run beyond. Kulusevski hasn't got the pace to run beyond consistently. Son does, but Son hasn't been playing well enough to do that. So again, it's simple mathematics for me. Put two players up front that want to run behind. Danjuma wants to run in behind. Richarlison wants to run in behind. Kane doesn't so much. So put him in a 10. It's a 3-2-1-2 system that would work because you've got all your facets there. I just don't understand why they don't try these things.
And not just that, it's also defensively. I'm thinking more defensively. If you go on the offense, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, we're solid. But if we want to now go on defense and we're playing only two in the midfield, it's bonkers. I don't understand how the tactical managers have not realised this season that when we're playing two midfielders, it's better to play none than two than to get a yellow card. Honestly, it's better to play two. Why would you risk a player getting a yellow card if they're anyway going to get a pass? What's the point?
We've said
There's literally no points.
We've said that week in, week out, Josh. We've said that week in, week out. But
100%.
Who are we? They don't listen to us, right? So going into the weekend after tonight's or this week's fixtures, Arsenal 75, Man City 73. So let them two battle it out. We know who's going to win that, but Newcastle now, after their 4-1 win, 62 points. Man United have got 60 points. We're on 54, level with Aston Villa. Liverpool now are 53 points with a game played less than us. However, Man United have played 2 less than us and Newcastle have played 1 less than us. Guys, I'm going to ask this question. I don't want a long answer. I want a simple answer. Is the top 4 done?
Josh can answer first. I don't want to answer.
Is it done now? Because don't forget, Josh, we've got to play Liverpool. We've got Villa to come. We've got Brentford to come. We've got Leeds, Crystal Palace.
Well, it's not done until it's done, but it's done. Let's just say like that. It is done. It is done. Look, I want to be positive. I want to say that it's not done, but when we got to still play Aston Villa, they're on fire. We still got to play Liverpool, they're on fire. We got to play. I think we got to play Brentford. I think
Brentford.
Yep.
Brentford. They're
and Crystal Palace.
And
Crystal Palace.
And then Leeds.
Man. We're out.
See, that's when you say the games that we've got, that makes it seem, oh my God, it's tough. The thing I said tonight, if we won tonight, all it does is it gives you that bit more confidence to go into the Liverpool game, because Anfield, as we all know, is not the place that you want to go to get a result. It's not. Nobody likes to go to Anfield to get a result. Very few teams do, even with Liverpool as they're playing now. So to say that I'm confident to go to Anfield and pick up 3 points is silly. That'd be silly. Again, we've got to look at a draw as being a good result that will keep Liverpool behind us. It all depends on Villa. Now, the only team that we could potentially dislodge from that top 4 is Manchester United, because they've got the FA Cup to think about. They've got significant injuries, and it just takes a couple of draws and a couple of wins either way, and that can change significantly. I don't expect us to get the wins, though, if Manchester United drop points. That's the problem.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that's that, unfortunately.
Whoa. Don't try to get away with this one. Don't try to get away. What do you think?
Yes,
I
like
I
said get away with it.
I said it a while ago when I decided not to go to any more games. I've got 4 seasons. So when I stopped going, I knew. And I've said it. How many times have I said it? Someone streamed that the fixtures that we've got coming up. I mean, Josh, think about this. Last game of the season, right? We need to win. Just let's say, imagine, right? If we need to win to get to top 4.
Hypothetically, yeah.
Hypothetically, we've got Leeds at Ellen Road. They have to win to stay up. Honestly, if there's any team that Leeds would want to play at this precise moment, and you're their manager, you'd be saying, give me Spurs. Because they know that if they need to win, we're not going to turn up, because they don't know what Spurs is going to turn up. And for them, the best game for them could probably be Spurs. But I've said, and I said it a couple of weeks ago, that the next 8 games, I said we're not going to get a win. And I'm still sticking to that, because you've mentioned it, Sam's mentioned it. Villa, Liverpool, Palace, Brentford, Leeds, they're not easy games. We've got to go to Anfield, where we don't have a good record at all, right? And they've now started to come up slowly. They got all the players back from injury as well. Hand on heart, guys. You honestly think you're going to get anything at Anfield on Sunday? I don't.
I'm going to say my last bit about the game, because obviously we've got to go as well.
Yeah.
Liverpool don't have legs in midfield. The fact that Hojbjerg is now out means that we have to play.
He's not out.
If that's the,
he's not out. Don't forget
oh,
the yellow
Josh.
cards. Don't forget the yellow cards is now 10 yellow cards before you get suspension. So that threshold's now gone. So he's gone up to 10 now, and he's not on 10.
So wait, so
he's
is
available.
Is he available then?
Yes, he's available for the Liverpool game.
Oh wow! I thought that was a 5. I thought the rule was 5.
No, the 5 is up to a certain point, and then after a certain point, after January or something, it
Sorry,
goes up
lads.
to 10.
I hold my hands up. I hold my hands up there.
Fine.
That's my man.
I was actually hopeful, because that would have meant that we'd had to change. No, not because of Hojbjerg, just because we would have had to have changed something. I don't expect him to change much now. I expect them to still play that same 3-4-3 system. What I would hope they would do is just make it a 3-4-2-1. Sorry, 1-2, with Harry Kane just in behind, and have Danjuma, possibly 2 speed merchants up front, whether that be Son and Richarlison or Son and Danjuma, or a combination of 2. But let Harry Kane just be slightly deeper, and just because Liverpool haven't got a midfield, they haven't got the legs in midfield. Like
but Sam, after today's performance, do you not think that maybe we shouldn't change anything and we should just work specifically on this tactic, master it? So for United, we go and batter them. If we're sorry for Liverpool, we try go and put all out, or would you still go to your own tactic?
No, because the first half, if we'd have played like that against Liverpool in the first half at Anfield, we'd be 5-0 down. So they've got strikers. The problem is you can't start games like we started and expect to win games. So going to Anfield, if we don't keep a clean sheet in that first half and they score 1 or 2, 3 goals, we're never winning. We won't win that game.
As our very own Sean Hurl has just put on here, remember this, guys: Liverpool 7, Manchester United 0. And Man United weren't poor that time; they were sort of playing decent. And
so
Liverpool
for us, it's probably 10-0, isn't it, or 14?
Right, guys.
Is that what we learned from this?
Yeah, probably. You never know. Right, guys. Tottenham 2, Manchester United 2. Final thoughts on the game. Starting with you, Josh.
I think there's a lot of positive to take out. I sound like Hugo Lloris now. There's a lot of positive to take out of this game, but I think we're gonna go to Liverpool with a good mentality after drawing 2-2, come back. I think a lot of improvements to do, but it's not over till it's over, and it's fight until we can. Why not? Why not? A little bit positivity. I can try put it a bit.
Yes, Josh, with that positivity.
Absolutely.
We have our own positive person who was positive vibes Pav, who's now got the S for sometimes positive vibe tab. So I'm happy that you're giving that same vibe, man. That's good.
What's your thoughts, Sam? Final thoughts?
Yeah, Josh is obviously younger than me, and he's got more bounce back ability. They've taken my soul already, Sid. You know they've taken my soul. So I'm looking at Anfield and I'm thinking, I've been out to Anfield. I've seen us play at Anfield.
Yeah.
I've watched many times at Anfield over the years. Now there was a couple of draws in there. I remember a couple of draws. We've had some good games up there, but taking all 3 points away at Anfield, I can't remember last time we did that. So for the way that we're playing now, for us to do that, it would be a surprise. But if there's any opportunity to do that, it's with this Liverpool midfield that they have, not their strikers, because if they get all their players back from a forward perspective, Gakpo, Diaz, Jota, Salah, do you know what I mean? They've got strikers up there, them goal scorers. Oh, bloody hell. What's his name as well? The ponytail one, the Andy Carroll lookalike. Nunes. Yeah, they've got him as well. So they've got a lot of players of firepower. And if they
imagine
get the
Nunes against
right,
Dyer, imagine that. Oh my God.
I just hope that we have to be able to keep the score down in the first half against Liverpool. Then we have a bit of a chance. Other than that, that Liverpool crowd will blow us away if they get a head up. So, yeah, watch the space.
Yeah. You know what? My final thoughts. First off was business as usual. My son was he went to the game because he wanted to go with his mum. He texted me, and I think he texted me at halftime to say, Dad, said, come and pick me up. And then he texted me again. He said, now come and pick me up now. And then I clicked. It's only about 5 minutes later I clicked, because obviously he's live in the stadium and we're slightly behind. So they must have scored their second goal. So he texted, say, come and pick me up now. Somebody please come and pick me up. And my brother-in-law's a West Ham fan. He was doing his Ubering and he said, I'm not that far from the ground. I'll come and pick you up. So he was well pissed, I think. And then I think he managed to stay. So first off was business as usual. Second off, slight improvements. Yes. On another day, we could have come and won the game. We didn't. We drew the game. I'm going into the next games as I've been going in the last few games is whatever happens, what happens. Que sera, sera. Whatever it will be, it will be. We're not going to Wembley and we're not getting top 4. We just go, turn up, shout out to a couple of players. If we get a win, we get a win. If we don't, you know what? We've got a manager who's interim manager who's in charge.
Can I just put this comment up? Sorry.
It's all about the summer.
That's very true. Whoever said that is too true. Josh has got too much. Josh has still got his soul. They've taken our soul. Me and
I've just had a Red Bull, guys. I've just had a Red Bull. I'm full of energy.
No wonder it's not because of the game.
It's not because of the game. I don't know what you're on about. It's not because of the game.
Darwin Noodle is going to assassinate us. Here we go. Right, Josh, where can people find you?
Well, you guys can find me on Spurs Live on YouTube. We are about to hit 1,000 subscribers, and on Instagram we are about to hit the big 14,000. So yeah, latest.
We've got to do some association, fam. Come on, Josh. 100%. If you're on here now, we're associated. That's it. You can't go.
Oh, now you guys
like Daniel Levy. Like Daniel Levy, you can't go.
Don't you think we can offer you whatever you want, yeah? We'll narrow it down. We can give you buy now, pay later. We can do whatever you want, yeah? Installments, anything, right?
100%.
Or we can even send you on loan, right?
Yeah.
And we're not going to sell you.
And not player. We can take you on loan and not player. That's what we'll do.
100%, guys, 100%.
Wicked.
Love it. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, Josh. Thanks for everyone in the comment section. Please, obviously, make sure you smash that like button, follow this channel, and obviously go over to Josh's Spurs Live as well and give him a hit, give him a follow as well. Top guy. Thank you very much, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you enjoyed the game. Make sure you join us again, probably Friday or Saturday for the Liverpool preview show. Josh, if you want to jump on, you're more than welcome. Anybody else wants to come on, come and join us. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. See you all later.